Hey everybody, today I'm going to show you guys how to set up your trading view so that you can have the indicators that I use when I am trading intraday. So first and foremost, you want to open up a blank chart on TradingView. This is what mine looks like. If you guys want to change the way that your chart looks from just the basic setup, what you would do is you'll go to settings to change like the candlestick colors. You'll go here. So my candlestick colors are green for anything bullish, and then I have a white body with blue borders just to kind of go with my brand theme. So the borders are going to be this blue with the wicks are going to be blue, but the body is going to be white. And then what you'll want to do is you'll want to, for this specifically, you would want to, I'll show you. So this is an NQ chart, but let's say I go to QQQ, right? We have after hours data, and then we have pre-market and after hours data, right? So when I trade, I like to know what's going on prior to the day opening. So what you need to do is you need to click down here, click on session, and make sure that you have extended trading hours on. If you only have it like this, you're not going to be able to see what the pre-market high or pre-market low is. So for me, those are the pre-market high and pre-market low is very important information for me, because I know that if we break above or break below those, we could have a move that would be in the direction of that. As you can see right here, we had our pre-market high right here. Price broke above it, and we continued to go up until we couldn't anymore. So that's why I like to look at this, because these are key levels for us, right? So now that you have your extended hours on, we need to be able to differentiate the extended hours from the actual trading hours. So what we do is we right click, go back to settings, and that's what this is right here. So when we have this session, we need to make sure we got extended trading hours on. And what we want to do is we want to kind of change the color of our of this background right here, right? So if I make it yellow, this is what it'll look like. For me, I don't really necessarily care for it to be like a different color. I just know that I need to have some type of shade so I can know what's active and what's not active. And for me, I just like to keep it as gray. And then I change the opacity to about 8% so that it's not too intrusive on my screen. And for that is it. So now we have this gray background, and then when we're in the active session, it's just on the complete black background right there. All right. So now what we need to do is we need to change, like if you want to change your background of the canvas, you will go here. You can change your background to solid black or whatever color you want. If I want my background to be yellow, I can make it yellow, but that looks crazy right now. If I want it to be blue, I can make it blue, as you can see. But whatever color you like, you can change it to whatever you want it to be. I prefer to have black. I just like the way it looks. You can also do this gradient thing, which will kind of make it look like that. But for me, I'm cool with just solid black. The crosshair. So as you can see, like where my mouse is right now, it is green. If you want to change the crosshair color to something else, like let's say white, it'll change it to white. For now, I want it to be green because it looks kind of cool with the aesthetic that I have going on. I'm actually gonna change it to a lighter green. And just kind of go from that. You can make it whatever color you want. As far as the watermark, so for me, I like to know exactly what ticker I'm looking at. So the watermark right here, this is gonna let you know exactly what you're looking at, right? And so let's say if you want the ticker, it's gonna tell you like whatever it is, whether it's Apple or QQQ. In this instance, it's QQQ. It'll let you know the interval, which is what time period you're looking at the chart on, and it's gonna give you a description of what it is. So the description is just like the full name of whatever it is. So in this instance, you're going to see Invesco QQQ Trust Series right there. If I were to click the description off, that'll go away, and it'll just tell me it's just QQQ. I like it on there because it just kind of makes the chart look a little cooler for me when I'm giving analysis, so I kind of leave it at that. And then you could change the opacity of it, the color of it, and all that stuff. Going with my black and green and white theme, I have it as the same color as my candlesticks, but the opacity is just a little bit lower. All the other settings you don't necessarily need to have to touch. specifically. If you want to change the way that the side look, like the numbers and the time, you will go to like scales. I think I think, is it status line or is it under canvas? Oh yeah, I'm sorry, it's under canvas still. So you'll change the text. This is how you change the time color and the price color. You'll change it to whatever you want it to be, and then the lines are just like the dividers. So like I have this as white, but let's say I wanted it to be black. I'll turn it to black, and then you don't see the borders anymore. I actually think I'm gonna leave it at that. So yeah, so that's how you do that, and after that, that's literally all you need to do. I think, yeah, that's all you need for that. Yeah, and then just hit OK, and then you have that going on. So now what we need to do is we need to add the indicators that we use for our charts, right? So first things first, we need to add the Ripster EMA clouds. And it'll be this top one right here about Ripster 47. All you do is click, and it will add the clouds onto here. Now, when you guys do it, you will not see this blue cloud right here, because that is something that I changed in the settings. That blue cloud right here, this lighter blue teal looking cloud, that is the 200 moving average. So that's just something that I had activated onto here. But when you add the Ripster EMA clouds, you do not need to change any of the settings. They already come ready-made for you to trade. The cloud system is intended for you to use it on the 10, the 30, the hourly, and above. It works the best when you're trying to day trade on the 10-minute, okay? So going into settings, if you want to add that 200-day moving average like me, you don't have to change any of these numbers. All you need to go down to do is where it says show EMA Cloud 5, you just click on it. And EMA Cloud 5 is this long EMA 5 right here. It's the 200-day moving average. It'll be the 180 and the 200 together. So the upper portion of it would be 180 and the bottom portion of it will be 200. And so all you gotta do is just click show EMA 5 cloud. If I click it right here, it'll go off. If I want it back, I just click on it and it's there. All right. And I have that set as my default. So regardless of whatever I do, whenever I add this indicator to any chart that I have, it will automatically populate in the default settings because I saved it as the default here. Okay. All right. So cool. A little breakdown on the system. I do have a PDF that explains how this works, but as you can see that there are two different colors. You can see right here is green, and then over here is red. This is the same ribbon. The only thing that's different is price is above it. So whenever price is above the ribbon is green. Whenever price is below it, it turns red. That kind of indicates whatever the trend is. That's what you need to kind of try to follow. All right. This 3450 ribbon right here, it will remain blue while the trend is bullish, and when price is under it, it turns this this like kind of rusty gold color. So whenever price is sitting under it, it will be bearish. So a thing for you to understand that'll help you understand what the trend is if the ribbon is, if the 512 ribbon is red and the 3450 ribbon is gold, you need to just be looking for shorts the entire time unless price reclaims it and shifts into a different direction, which is what's happening right here, right? So on the smaller time period, we actually reclaimed the clouds here and we're starting to hold, and then now the ribbons are changing colors, and now they're both showing that we're overly bullish now. And then we had a sell-off here, it got red again, and then we quickly reclaimed that and turned green again. So this is kind of how you can tell the trend without having to draw a trend line. So it is extremely helpful that you have some type of color indication that shows you what the trend or the intraday trend and direction is, okay? All right, so I'm not going to go into details on how to use the clouds any more than that, but I just need you guys to understand that these are the factory settings for the EMA clouds. Okay, so now that we got that cloud added there, we need two more indicators to have the setup that I have. Okay, so we're going to go back to indicators up here. we're going to type in Ripster MTF clouds, okay? And you're going to need this twice. But for the sake of the demonstration, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add it once and then change the settings for this, okay? So like I told you guys before, the Ripster EMA clouds, you don't have to do anything differently with those. With the Ripster MTF clouds, you have to set them up to your specific time period, okay? So what you'll do is once you add this onto the chart, you'll go to settings here, and then you'll need to change the inputs, okay? So for this one specifically, we are going to set up the 1 day cloud, okay? The 1 day cloud setup, okay? So for EMA 1, we needed to say 50. We need this one, the EMA 1 long strength, we need to say 55. This one would need to be 20. This one need to be 21. And then for here, we need to make sure it says 1 day, which it does. And then the source is going to be H plus L dash 2. So high, low 2. So that's what we needed to say right there. Okay. And then the offset is going to be 0. And then that's going to be 0. Okay, cool. We got that set. All right. Next, we need to go to style. What do we want to do with the style here? Well, all of these boxes need to stay unchecked. The only thing that we need to check on here is EMA Cloud 1 and then EMA Cloud Color 2. All right, and we're going to do that. So this one is already set up for us perfectly. So all we got to do is hit OK, and we are good. And when I do that, we can see that we have our cloud down here. Okay, so this is our higher MTF cloud right here. So whenever we're trading, we can see that we have our 2 clouds right here. They're showing up, and they offer us another added level of support when support or resistance when we're trying to trade. As you can tell, price is super high up here. This is a daily cloud, so we're very far away from current price. If we were to lose this 200 and all that, we'll start to make our way back down to these clouds, which is, it'll be kind of like, we'll make our way down to these clouds. But for the sake of the video, we're not going to go into that. I'm just letting you guys know like how the clouds should be looking on here. All right. So now that we got that one on there, we need to add the second one, Ripster Ripster MTF cloud. It's the same indicator. We're just going to change the settings for the second one, right? So as you can see over here in this left-hand corner, we got 1 up there. So now we're going to hit click again, and then now we got the second one. All right. So now for the second one, we're going to go to settings, and then we're going to change the inputs. Okay. So this one is going to be for the 1 hour setup. All right. So for the 1 hour setup, we need to change EMA 1 short to 34. We need to make it to 34. We need to make this 50. All right. And then we can leave these two as 20 and 21. And instead of it being 1 day, we're going to change this to 1 hour. Okay. We're going to change that to 1 hour. And then we're going to make sure that this stays H plus L 2. So high, low 2, and then that's it for the inputs. Then we're going to go over to style, and then the only thing that we need to have clicked would be EMA Cloud 1. Okay, so you can unclick EMA Cloud 2, and then just leave EMA Cloud 1. And the settings should be, these should be there. So why are we doing this? EMA Cloud 1. EMA Cloud 1 is going to give us our 3450 cloud on the 1 hour time period. Okay. So we're going to hit OK, and now we are set up. All right. So as you can see, we have our 1 hour cloud here, and then our daily cloud down here. Okay. And then we have like that medium cloud here for the daily, our 3450 for the daily right here. All right. So now whenever we're trading on our 10-minute chart, if we were to zoom in, we know that we have an hourly cloud support here right by the 200 EMA cloud. Okay. So essentially what happens is if we were to break all of these clouds right here, our next level of support will be in this area right here where we have these cloud support. So again, price, if we continue to go bearish, price will come down to these clouds, and then we'll potentially have a move. As you can see in this example right here, that's exactly what happened. Price ended up failing these clouds, and we ran all the way down to these clouds and touched them, and then once we got to the clouds, we bounced back up. And so essentially that is the importance of having these clouds, because they act as support and resistance as well. All right, so now that we have our chart set up, we are ready to trade. The cool thing is they do work on other time periods, specifically for the intraday. If you're trading the indices or any other ticker, we want to leave it on the 10-minute. But for like, let's say you want to look for swing trades or something like that, you can always go up to higher time periods. So like, let's say you want to look at the 30, you can look and see how price reacts on the 30-minute time period. You can look at it on the hourly. You can even look at it on like the weekly. And based on the weekly, you'll see like what your cloud support kind of looks like. So we could tell like on the weekly, we lost the cloud and then we reclaimed the cloud. So there should be an expectation that since we are holding the cloud here on the weekly, that we could potentially go higher. And people will be looking for swing trades and stuff like that. So like, here's a good example right here. We broke down below the weekly cloud, went down, touched that 200-day moving 200 week moving average at this point because of the time period that we're on, and then we bounced off of that. And then if you would have just swung longs, you could have swung this for months. Since April, you could have been in longs on QQQ all year for the rest of the year, based on this weekly chart right here. So that's kind of how the clouds work. It works on every time period. Let's say you're trying to scalp. Just understand that if you were trying to scalp and you go down to like the 1 minute, the 1 minute time period or whatever that you're on, you just got to understand that they're it's not as consistent because price moves really fast on these smaller time periods, right? So just understand, like, the moves are happening a little bit faster. So you break, you move up, and it's just a little bit noisy, but it looks the same on every time period. The clouds still work the same way. It's just a little bit more, it's not as reliable on these smaller time periods because you're going to have constant flips of the trend and direction and everything when you get onto the smaller time periods. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully this video helps you guys set up the cloud system. I know I get a lot of questions about how to set this up specifically for the way that I trade, and hopefully this kind of helps give you guys a visual representation other than just looking at the PDFs that I provide for you guys so that you can set up the clouds. So thank you guys for watching, and hope y'all have a good day.